Hi guys, I'm Wheezy and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be continuing our review of the book of the moment, Prince Harry's autobiography, The Spare. Picking up from where we stopped in the last chapter, where Harry was discussing his conversation with the moon about his future, Prince Harry describes coming across Meghan's photo on Instagram. He says, "In my feed I saw a video, my friend Violet and a young woman. This young woman with Violet, my God. I'd watched a conveyor belt of faces pass by, and only a handful ever made me look twice. This woman stopped the conveyor belt. This woman smashed the conveyor belt to bits. I never seen anyone so beautiful." He goes on to say, "There was an energy about her, a wild joy and playfulness. There was something in the way she smiled, the way she interacted with Violet, the way she gazed into the camera, confident, free. I'd never had a firm opinion on that burning question. Is there just one person on earth for each of us? But in that moment, I felt there might only be one face for me." A Twitter user said, "Yo, Prince Harry was gone from the moment he saw Meghan. The so-called English rose holes never had a chance." He recounts a trip he had made to France to mark the anniversary of the Battle of the Somme, where he realized that he wanted to live. This is quite significant because it's quite obvious, I think, that Harry had been depressed ever since his mother died in 1997. So this sudden realization that he wanted to live was startling because it means that I think where he thinks about how difficult life is and how much he wants to perhaps pass away, that a small part of him was hopeful that he would be able to find space in life to be able to live. And somehow his soul has kind of held on to that hope, which he has now discovered that he indeed, despite how difficult life was, that he wanted to live. So what is the Battle of Somme? For those of us, and I was today's years old when I understood what happened at the Battle of Somme. Don't you love the way Prince Harry throws in a history lesson every now and then, educating us as we go along? It kind of reminds me of what T.D. Jakes, one of my favorite Christian preachers, says in his sermons. He says, "I refuse to shepherd an ignorant church. If you don't know anything at all, you're going to know the Bible." So it is with Harry and Meghan's story. There is no way you can claim to be a royal expert, a royal watcher, without understanding or being interested in understanding the history of the royal family. Anyway, the Battle of the Somme was a joint operation between British and French forces intended to achieve a decisive victory over the Germans on the Western Front. So shortly after seeing Meghan's photograph for the video, Harry talks about joining the crew of St. Kitts Mills boat on a boat race. What got my attention about this bit of information that Harry shared was the fact that he says he texted non-stop on his way to Sir Mill's house where he put up the night before the boat race. Ladies, a man who wants you will make time for you. He goes on to say, "I texted with her throughout the long drive to Sir Keith's place, continued through Sir Keith's hall. 'How are you doing, Sir Keith?' and up the stairs and into his guest room where I locked the door and remained holed up, texting." He says, "Sir Keith's guest room looked out onto an estuary. The view made me think of the Okavango. It also made me think of destiny and serendipity, that convergence of river and sea. Land and sky reinforced a vague sense of big things coming together. The sky and land. Guys, come closer. Can we talk about the way Meghan dated Harry? Very boss chick. First of all, she had no qualms about sending him a DM after her friend must have passed Harry's message over to her that there's a guy who was checking you out. And then when Harry suggested a first date at his place, she was like, first date? What? No. Then apart from the physical attraction that there must have been, the fact was that her conversation was stimulating, interesting, and the goodness of her heart shone through. The next strategy was that she was not easily available. I came across a book which clearly explained what it meant when you say don't be easily available. This might be common sense to some of you, but some of this stuff is not common sense for everybody. All right. So, what does the way Meghan dated Harry tell you about Meghan? Well, in the first place, she has done a lot of the internal work she needed to do to be in a relationship with a high value man. Two, she's healed herself, she's developed herself, she has found herself and knows her worth. She has discovered her purpose. She has either read the book I'm going to discuss with you in the next slide, or she has read a similar playbook. She had done some training in elegance or business etiquette. When I say Meghan dated Harry like a Spartan woman, let me first of all tell you what a Spartan woman is. A Spartan woman is a woman who has spent time understanding and healing herself. She does not leave her fate to chance. She takes steps to ensure that she protects herself and that the guy she's interested in is indeed serious about her from the get-go. She achieves this by being hyper-aware. I mean hyper self-aware, and brings a first-class dating game to the connection. Now, ladies, if you want to know more about how to update your dating game, I will introduce you to a few books in due course which will 1000% help you get more of what you want out of your dates. There is just so much to say about this topic, but I'm going to start by introducing you to two books first, and then the rest of the books which I think could help every woman from top to bottom upgrade her dating game in such a way that it's guaranteed to reduce your dating mistakes by a minimum of 90%. If you would like me to do a review on these books, let me know in the comment section. I also have a book for men, so don't feel left out if you're a man who listens to my YouTube channel. So, the first book on the list is Men Don't Love Women Like You by G.L. Lambert. Trust me, once you read this book, the reason why you've not been able to be successful at dating will become completely clear to you from the first read, because the book is a step-by-step manual on how to stop manipulation, command attention, and be seen as a must-have by any man. The next one is Date Like a Spartan. This one is crazy essential for a woman, especially if you're an older woman trying to get into the dating game. In fact, if I could buy a copy of these books for every single woman from the time they are born, I would do it, because the information in the books are just so critical. And it's just unfortunate, especially in today's age where people are so busy and they hardly have the time to pass on the information that people need to date successfully to their children. And then you find girls who are suffering from daddy issues or mommy issues, or boys who are suffering from mommy issues or daddy issues. It just tells you how to date smart, date fearless, date like you're the prize, because you are a prize by popular demand. And it's the second part of Men Don't Love Women Like You by the same author, G.L. Lambert. I told you that the men are not going to be left out. So on the screen, you've got this book, which talks to men about the issues that men have. And it just gives you more information about what you need to empower yourself in the spirit of this new generation we're living with. gives you the wisdom and principles of manhood. Because when a man sees himself as a king, he adjusts his standards and behaviors accordingly. He will take responsibility and rise to his full potential. And a king will always attract a queen. In my opinion, one of the things that drew Harry to Meghan, apart from the fact that she's obviously beautiful and accomplished, was that she was not as available as he would have liked, and that she was actively pursuing her interests. So when he met her, she was preoccupied with following the footsteps of the Julia Roberts character in Eat, Pray, Love, the movie. And so what did Harry do? Harry invited Meghan to join him in Botswana. May I say that that move is typical Harry MO. That was his dating game strategy. Every woman that he was interested in, he would sweep off to Botswana so that they could spend time in privacy. But in any case, I love the way he described the individual morning routine the morning after her arrival. For her, she did her yoga, and for him, it was to take a walk, getting some fresh air, and to give thanks for the day. Anyway, as usual, here are some take this book so slowly. Of course, the book is very layered. There's so many nuances to lean into to get, if you want to grasp the full meaning and context of what Harry was saying. But just leaning into their love story just opened my mind to the people that they were when they met each other. After the trip to Botswana, they tried to hammer out a few ways to make the relationship work, even though they were thousands of miles apart. And because of the potential logistical nightmare involved, Meghan had to be the one doing the traveling. In the first few trips, she met Princess Eugenie, Fergie, and the Queen. And this conversation you see on the screen is the conversation that Harry and Meghan were having on their way to go and see the Queen, when Harry realized that the Queen was in Fergie's house when they were on their way to see Fergie. So Harry says, "You're about to meet the Queen." And Meghan says, "I know, but it's your grandma." And Harry says, "Yeah, but she's the Queen." This right here is what Harry was trying to explain, that Meghan had no idea of the import of the royal family. It's quite obvious that meeting with the Queen went well, and next up was to visit William. And so Meghan escorted Harry to William's place, and Kate was nowhere to be found. How do you not take the time as a sister-in-law to make yourself available to meet your brother-in-law's girlfriend? This was a sure sign from the very beginning that Kate was not interested in the relationship between Harry and Meghan. What do you guys think? I mean, just look at this conversation. Where is Kate? Out with the kids. Ah, too bad. Next time. Like, really? Seriously? William is Harry's only other brother. And Kate couldn't be bothered to make herself available to meet Harry's girlfriend. The same Harry who has supported her so much ever since she joined the royal family as William's wife. Harry and William didn't seem to see anything wrong with it, but that was a clear sign right there about the coldness of the royal family, and it was an omen to me of things to come. Anyway, the good feeling gravy train continued, and Harry went to Canada to see Meghan. And while he was there was a Halloween party to which they invited Eugenie and Jack. So I'm going to stop here now because I want us to enjoy the vibe of this part of the book. Soak it in. You see, happy, carefree, easy. Harry is not just smiling, he's doing the squinty eye smile as well. Sometimes when people smile and then they close their eyes, they're smiling with their whole heart. He was all in without going into the next part. just yet. For me, this is the best part of the book so far, but I just go back to this part of the book and most talk about the energy. The energy in this part of the book is just pure love, just joy, excitement of two people discovering each other. And as I said, it's the best part of the book thus far. And of course, this is my favorite part of the book. It's just a great strategy on Harry's part to keep this part to last. This is apart from the fact that it makes chronological sense that this part of the book is last. So Harry and Meghan's dating years reads like a how to successfully date manual. I mean, starting with themselves, they were both accomplished individuals. On Harry's part, he had begun to figure out the key to unlocking the best part of himself, to discovering his purpose, and to figuring out how to navigate life. And on Meghan's part, she has clearly worked on herself and was pursuing her career, her life purpose, and her interests. Thank you for watching. Until next